everybody, well, it's time to do a normal on the bike vlog. I've got a few things to update you on and a few things I want to talk about. First things first, people have asked about my foot. I've actually returned to work this week just to see, because I found out that my appointment with the specialist isn't until late April, so I probably won't get my operation until May, if I'm lucky, which isn't ideal because I have to return to work. So after resting it, I noticed that the lump had gone down a bit because I had like a before picture and I took another one from the exact same camera and place and was like, no, that's gone down maybe, I don't know, 30% or something. But it seems to be just enough to alleviate it pushing on the nerve in my foot. Well, I've been back to work for a couple of shifts. I've done shorter shifts than usual, and by the end of the shift it's starting to fucking hurt. But I am back at work just about and earning some money. I'm off to B&Q at the moment. I need some bits and pieces for my car, my RC car. Let's just talk about that for a minute, because I've got quite a few questions about things like, what car is it? It is a HPI Hyper 10 from, I don't know when. It was new when I bought it, so whenever that thing came out, many years ago. The internals, it's a Team Orion 17-turn motor. It's got something rocket pack batteries, something speed control. I can't, speed controller and servo's not really worth mentioning. But yeah, it's a fun little car, and I got it years ago, and it's good to dig the thing out and get some more use out of it. But as you saw with the last video, there was some epic failing going on. Because of the... Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. Because of the receiver. It was intermittently working and not working, and the problem is it tended to get stuck wherever it was. So if I quickly blipped the throttle right up, and it was at that exact moment that it got stuck, that's what it did. It just went off on one. The camera mounting option was a little bit dumb. It was basically a goggle mount with some zip ties just wherever it would fit. And it worked well, but the problem is it put the camera, the first thing it was going to hit, if it hit anything, was the camera. Now luckily, if it was running into stuff, the bumper was in front of that but lower down, so it tended to catch that and not hit the camera. But as you saw in that last video, there was a couple of instances of the camera taking a bit of a battering, and I think the sheer G-force of it getting smacked frontwards on caused the card to click in and then pop itself back out again, which fucked the video up. I just sat there for like 10 minutes looking at it, like how could I actually mount a camera on this better, and I found a perfect way. But I just need some bits and pieces to do it, so that's why I'm going to B&Q. Not your ideal hobby store place, but I don't need hobby store stuff. Talking about hobby stores, I went to the shop that I used to buy all my bits and pieces from, a place called Fratton Model Centre. Now years back, this place was absolutely jam-packed with all the gear you'd need, you know, different bits and pieces. You could go in there, buy this, buy that, find anything you needed on the day. It was great. Obviously things have gone downhill because online is so much cheaper, and these sorts of shops, you know, they're just dying out. Same as camera shops, music shops, all of them. But it must be compacted more now by the fact that they can't stock the same range of stuff. Because I went in there, I was like, okay, so I'm after a motor, a speed controller, all these bits and pieces. What have you got in stock? Well, nothing really, I'll have to order it. I'm like, well, you know, I can order it offline and pay a lot less money. The whole point was I was going to get it today from a shop. And he's like, no, I'm going to have to order it in because, you know, this, that and the other. And he was going on about how it's so difficult to find things that aren't brushless and stuff anymore. And I was like, well, they're not. I've found many websites that sell them. Not difficult to get hold of at all. But you're saying that you have to order. And basically, from the sound of it, it seemed like he would just order it from the normal online store and then sell it to me. It's like, no buddy, I ain't doing that. I try and support my local economy and everything, but Jesus. Another thing I noticed that was being debated in the comments was, why am I not using a body shell on the car? Now there is a very simple reason for this, and it was picked up on, is the fact that the camera sits at least 2 inches higher than the shell would sit. So it literally, with the camera where it is, it would not fit over the top of the car. Plus, doing stuff off-road and having the fact that the car is four-wheel drive and it's got belts that go forwards and backwards. Stones and stuff, if you have a shell, it tends to chuck them inside the shell, and before you know it, you get a stone caught in the belt. And having the shell off also means that sand doesn't get chucked up in there and shit like that. So logistically, it will not work, and functionally, it's not a great idea. Now for people making suggestions about, you should get a Nitro Car. There is a very good reason why I don't want a Nitro Car. I used to have one. It was a little buggy, had 2 gears. It's quite fucking quick. In fact, I had the centrifugal clutch adjusted so it would go into second earlier, because when it used to click into second, it had a habit of shimmying so much it could just fucking fly off. And Nitro Cars are fun because, you know, it's a proper little combustion engine and you don't need to charge the batteries. You can just pick it up and put some fuel in it, all of that. But the problem is they get fucking hot. I know this because I burnt the shit out of my thumb once on my old petrol one. Basically, was running it for a bit, then went to pick it up and brushed my thumb against the exhaust, and all you heard was as it seared my fucking thumb, something chronic. And obviously, being on a motorbike, I've got to put this in my backpack where I transport it around, and having a red hot little Nitro Car with bottles of sticky nitro and all of that stuff is not ideal. And with the advent of brushless motors and stuff, electric cars are getting massively powerful. I mean, there's almost no need for nitros anymore. They're just that fucking quick. I've seen ones which, you know, are doing like 100 miles an hour. I have actually been looking into new ones, as you do, and you start getting back into these things. You're like, oh, I'd like something new and more up to date. And from the looks of it, with the frame that I'd want to use and all the bits and pieces, without going brushless, I'm looking at about £260, which I'm not about to go and spend that much money. I know the RC bug has bit me again, so I will end up buying something at some point. But I don't know what to do, because I quite like the cars, but if I'm going to go to the point of spending like 260 quid on something, I might just wait a bit longer and get like a Phantom, because quadcopters are fucking amazing! Yeah, I'm not about to go and spend a load of money on an RC car at this point in time. I just don't have that sort of money hanging around, but, you know, in the future I probably will. Blimey, that's clean. Ride your bike more. Oh dear. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Oh shit.